Hello, everybody. Good afternoon or good morning. My name is Yehuda Sharim, and it's a true honor for me to be there with you virtually. I initially wanted to travel to Korea and meet all of you and be there with you. Unfortunately, I just been bombarded with different film screenings and film festivals, so we do it remotely. Please bear with me because it's almost 10 p.m. in California, and I'm still extremely jet lagged. Before I even start with film and anything like that, I want to thank the organizer of this beautiful, important, timely conference where we come together to talk about emotion, to talk about space for us to reimagine solidarity, to reimagine collaboration. So I'm extremely humbled and honored to share some of my work here with you. As in the introduction, as it was described, I make films. I see film, not necessarily as a way to escape realities, as part of mainstream bombardment, but actually film as a way to look into spaces, movements that are not necessarily pushed to the fore. My films look carefully into maps of the heart and ways to depict and movement and emotion, not only in terms of border crossing, but also crossings that are more internal, that more relates to sentiment and emotion. And obviously taking into consideration the experiences of refugees and immigrants in the US, which includes many other loss, trauma, anguish, craving, which I'm sure in so many other places they were depicted. I will share with you clips from 3 films. The first one is Seeds of All Things. It was released in 2018. I began making that film immediately after the previous administration in the US was elected, that was led with by Donald Trump. The film is located in a clinic in Houston, Texas. And that clinic is very unusual because it offers services by immigrants and refugees and only to immigrants and refugees. I was filming for 2 years and I was interested in, how emotion relates to the corporeal, to the body. A lot of the time we talk about emotion as something that is somewhat isolated phenomena, but I'm constantly interested in the relationship between emotion and the body, emotion and space, emotion and the space within. And I will begin with that clip. Here we go. Seeds of All Things. Let me just pause it a second because I understand you actually see, but you don't hear. I apologize for that. Share sound.
As a refugees, right? Yeah, you know, before, like, I'm not a citizen in any other country. Even Burma, I'm not a citizen either. They
You
don't
want a
because,
citizen in Burma?
no,
Why
because
not?
I'm Korean, right? They don't really like. They kind of like separate people, like what's it called? Discriminate people, like little like that. So if you're Korean, it's hard to get the citizenship, you know, in Burma. That was like 10 years ago, you know? Yeah, that 10 years ago. I cannot get it easily. So, now there's a lot of people like me, a lot more. So we have situation, like economic situation, education stuff, so we moved to flee to Thailand. Yeah, so now I become citizen from refugee status to, you know, thanks to the UN. That's wonderful, like, I feel blessed and privileged. Also, like, I feel like I'm someone. I feel like I'm like important, valuable somehow. Yeah, you know, like you can vote. That's this big deal. Like other people, there's a lot of people cannot vote, right? They don't, or they don't know the important, the benefits of voting. I think I know benefits because it's like this clinic, like you know, it's funded like it's being held right by like you know funds and right because we help the community and also yeah it depends on like it's very important that we should vote, you know, very important. We gotta vote, we gotta keep fighting. Yeah. Keep fighting for human rights, for your rights, your place. That's how I believe. Yeah, I believe everybody should vote.
You went with your wife?
Yeah.
What does your wife think about the election?
My wife, yeah, she thinking about it's important because she's citizen, you know. The last time she shared experience that it's very bad. Like one white man, he came in, he said, it's a bad word, like he said, bitch, get out of our country. We don't want Asian. But you know, it's so bad. She was so bad. She cried. You know? She worked in the HB, so she cried. It's a bad word. Like I was like, okay, that's because of, you know, I don't know. I just tell her things happen. You know, I didn't see the things. Actually, another word. It happens, and you know, we can control things. We can change people. We can control it. We can control ourselves, right? So I see, but she feel that she needs to vote. You know, that's how she feel. She know that things going on because of the elections time. The people are getting crazy about race and stuff.
What race?
Yeah, race. Yeah, race. About race, racism.
Do you feel that too?
I don't feel race. Yeah, being discriminated like that, race. Because I don't want to put that a lot of things in my mind like, about race. Because I don't want to care. Like if you care, you put your attention there a lot. Your mind just I don't know. It must up your mind. You know, just you can't communicate properly. So I don't even think about like too much about racism like stuff. But if like that, if the situation happened to my wife, came to me, you know, I don't know, I'm gonna call 911 or something like call 911. Probably it's a bit different experience. You know, it's very I don't know.
How does it feel like you talked about Burma and discrimination? And
But that shouldn't be no discrimination at all. We're human, you know, right? Human. You gotta respect each other, right? Respect each other, no matter what, right? So black, white, and Asian, or whatever, yellow skin, white skin, they're all the same, like, you know, human blood and flesh. All have the same mind. They have their own struggling and stuff, right? Race, it just here, I think, just for what you think, right?
Yes. Now, she and Yes, yes. We don't need Farsi, but can speak English. Farsi.
But he speaks English,
Yes, yes.
so you don't need.
Yeah, no.
You don't need.
I know. Yes.
Can you step on here, please?
Yeah.
Oh, you are Asian? She is Asian, right?
Pakistan. Abbas.
Abbas?
As you can see, it's this beautiful quotidian experiences. This I began it with Ta, who works at the clinic, and then talking about the elections as the president was elected and how it impacted different immigrant communities, including Abbas and Samira that we see towards the end of the clip. Abbas, who escaped Iran because he demonstrated against the government, ended up in the US just a week before the election. And then we first met at the clinic. His first question is, what is going to happen to me? What's going to happen to me? And I'm Muslim. He thought that I'm Muslim too because I'm son of immigrants from Iran. Unfortunately, I don't speak Farsi. And we got connected very deeply. So in many ways, the filmmaking was a place not only to share a creative space, but also a space to find alliances, to create a space for healing, because that's what we do with the arts. That's what we do through any creative practice, or most creative practices. We create, meaning we create spaces for us to be fully, and not only as immigrants or refugees, or A or B or C, because we all are beyond those labels. Then after this film, I kept meeting with the family. And then Abbas introduced me to his son and daughter. In the film, in what you just saw, there were the twins, the young twins, but they have two older siblings. One of them is Ali, who is 14, and Hannah, who is 9. The moment we met, it was for dinner. It was very clear that the next film with the family will focus on the experience of displacement from the perspective of youth. What does it mean to lose in such a young age? And what are the implications? What does it mean for you to see your parents losing? To see the courage of your father? To see your mother suffering such a deep trauma when she is forced to leave her home in half an hour and then drive to the Iraq-Iran border and knowing she will never be back? So the next film I made is called Songs That Never End. I'll show you a clip from that film now. So what do you like doing? What's your name? How old are you? You sure? What do you want to do in your life? Where? What do you like eating?
Mr. Yehuda, do you know what does brilliant means?
Brilliant.
Yes, brilliant.
Yeah.
You ever heard that word?
So if I tell you, Ali, you are brilliant because you read the book very well. What do I mean by that?
It means that I read very good. But Mr. Yehuda, there is also a brilliant meaning, like brilliant blue.
Hannah, what do you think about the US? What do you think about Iran? What do you think about Iraq? What do you think about Turkey? What do you think? Are you happy here? Why can't you go out? What is the thing you love doing the best? What do you think about your brother?
Mr. Yehuda,
What do you think about your father? What do you think about Hannah? What do you think about twins?
Mr. Yehuda, do you know anything about G-force?
I heard about it. What is it? Show me.
No, it's not in this book.
Ali, focus in the book.
No, hold on. Mr. Yehuda, do you know anything about G-force?
No.
Mr. Yehuda, G-force is the
Something in the army?
Probably. But do you know what does that mean? Do you know like when airplane goes too much high? So what do I thinking? I think what will happen if you be on a high gravity and if you run? What do you think?
I don't know what will happen.
What will happen? Your body gets stronger and you can hold high G-force. So you can go faster, right? Mr. Yehuda, do you know what does the meaning of vanished?
Disappeared.
The next question. The next question. Look.
Oh, my next question, yeah. What do you think about school? What do you think about Donald Trump?
Huh? Mr. Yehuda, let me tell you.
What do you think about Barack Obama?
My love.
What do you think about
Bachelor
the food your mom makes?
Like me?
Oh, it's really good. It's really good.
I like Obama.
we didn't have any future. If you don't have any future, if you feel okay, I don't have any future, think about that. If you feel you don't have any future, what's happening for you? My daughter Hannah told my wife, I don't like this life. God, I want to go to God. I don't like this life. It's very bad. And I'm afraid. Maybe she wants to suicide. I'm afraid about that. I work 15, 16 hours a day. And I didn't have time for my children, for my wife. I came home, took a shower, slept, and after I have to go to work. I didn't have money to. We didn't go out even 3 months when we lived in Turkey. First of all, the 3 months, the first 3 months I lived there, we couldn't take my children to out because maybe they saw something and they wanted. I couldn't buy. Even Ali told several times to my wife, God forgot us. God forgot us. You cannot. Hana derevend. Derevend.
You sure you want chips? You don't want chips?
No. Derevend. They woke up, sometimes watch TV. Even I remember we had TV, but they didn't watch it. Yes, Samira? تلویزیون نگاه نمی‌کردن. Only they listen to pray.
Prayer?
Pray. In YouTube. Only listen. And yeah, every day they listen to pray. That time Hannah was 7, 6. Yeah. That's really hard. When I think about they didn't have any hope.
Yehuda, listen to that.
Yeah, it's pray.
Speak with God.
Beautiful.
The same God is very big, very merciful. Yeah, and He heard everything. And yeah. Look, they didn't play, they didn't study, They didn't went out. And every day they listen this and talk with God. Yeah.
What did Samira do?
Same children.
And you work 15 hours and you come back home and you see Samira sad.
Yeah.
You see your son and daughter sad like that.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I couldn't do anything. Only we have to wait, and we had to see what's happened for us in future. United National accept us or not.
But what do you feel? What's going on inside Abbas?
I'm very worried. Mr. Optimism, actions and actions. Actions. Nobody knows what's happened. Maybe United States said no. Maybe said okay, and after another country won't accept you and your family because nobody is responsible about refugees. Nobody is responsible. They want to help. Nobody can force. Nobody force them. No, you must take this family.
I'm from Iran.
I wish I could help my friend's dad.
I like my dad.
Me too. I love him more than you.
My dad goes to work middle of the night.
My friend is like this too.
I think my dad is a true dad.
I don't know what to say about him.
A lot of refugees are still in Iran like me, but hopefully I am in the United States of America.
I wish I could help those guys that are still in Turkish. They were just like us, crying please, please to their moms.
I wish all humans on earth happiness and loveness.
Me too. I wish that would happen, but this is never gonna happen.
Those are the miraculous Hannah and Ali. And Hannah saying that happiness and loveness will never happen. I just want to put everything in context. Immediately after Abbas protested against the Iranian government, the Iranian secret police was after him. He had half an hour to escape Iran. Ali and Hannah, Samira and Abbas drove in with a car to the Iran-Iraq border. They stayed in Iraq for a year. After Iraq, they exhausted all the resources. Obviously, the Iranian government took over the bank accounts. So they went to Turkey. They stayed in Turkey for about 5 years, undocumented. Ali left school because he was bullied, because he was Muslim and he was from Iran. So all the family stayed in one bedroom. Most of the time, they didn't even leave it. At the same time, Samira, the mother, got in a deep sense of depression, and that impacted the entire family. Here we see them after 1 year in the country. As you know, the US government offered some kind of support for the first 6 months, but then the refugees, the newly arrived immigrants are on their own. which means that they have to take any job that is given to them. Abbas is an engineer, got a job in a local factory in Houston, Texas. And that's where you see him leaving at 8 p.m., comes back home at 8 a.m. The salary is often minimum wage, and you don't have any health care. And that's why when you look closely into his hands are constantly bleeding. And what does he do to the family when the son and the daughter and all the kids are on themselves, on their own in the middle of the night? And what that triggers, that's other parts of the film explore that. I kept working with the family for another couple of years, but this time we began thinking about how cinema could actually bring people together. By bringing people together, I mean different immigrants and refugees from different communities, how we can create alliances, how we can share knowledge, how we can laugh, how we can cry together. Because in a lot of our cultures, community is a space of healing. It's not necessarily paying to a psychologist. It's actually going and listening to the gugush or haide or just having tea together, where you just pour your heart, pouring, pun intended. The next film, the one which I just finished, is titled Letters to Maybe. This film brings together communities I've been working with over the last 5 years. Some of them you're gonna see now. One of them is Hussein al-Qudari, who is from Baghdad, who arrived to Houston around 2 years ago. And he constantly questioned, did I find whether that moment where you find refuge is actually the moment that actually offer you any kind of healing, or maybe not. Maybe safety is not enough. Maybe love is more of greater importance. He met Nancy through the filming. Nancy has arrived to the US from Togo, Africa, when she was 2 years old. She has remained a refugee without papers, meaning undocumented. And this is some of their dialogue. And the film just finished, and it's the film that I travel with to different film festivals. And I'm really, pleased and humbled to share it with you. I'll share with you some clips, and then maybe we'll open space for questions and thoughts and visions and more. So this is Letters to Maybe. In this clip you're gonna see short snippets that will take you back to Abbas and Samira, because they also appear in that film. Here it is. It's titled Letters to Maybe.
Truth number one. There is no such thing as the American dream. Honestly, there isn't. There's no such thing because you're not guaranteed anything in this world or in America. You have to work for it. Just as the first generation immigrants in America work for it, you have to work for it too. There's nothing that's guaranteed. Truth number two. Your mental health will get fucked up. I'm just letting you know now. It doesn't matter if you came here with a PhD. It doesn't matter if you got a PhD here. Your mental health will get messed up. Why? Because this is not your land. And they're quick to remind you every single day you wake up. This is not your land.
So whose land is it?
It's theirs. Never mind that they're all immigrants.
Then share with us one truth about America.
Ugly truth?
Whatever truth. It doesn't have to be ugly, it can be beautiful.
They're all ugly.
I know. One truth about America? I mean, no, there's a lot of stuff about it.
Choose one.
As a refugee or like, yeah.
As a refugee.
It's a lie. It's a trap.
Yes!
It's a trap.
Don't come!
Don't come here. It's a trap.
Why did you say that?
Because it's a trap.
But some people don't have home. Some people in Syria and Iraq.
I know, but here it's not easy. It's not easy too. It's so
It's
difficult.
better for you to die in your land happy than for you to come to America and for your soul to die.
Yeah, it's better to face the reality rather than dealing with the lie.
Your soul will die in America. Your body will be here. Yes, you will make money, but you won't be happy. In your country, you will be happy. You will die a happy person. But here, your soul will die before your body dies.
No voy a hablar en la cámara, no quiero, no lo voy a hacer, no me siento a gusto, me siento mal. No quiero, no quiero. Ya me cansé de hablar y de hablar y de hablar y no me escuchan. Por eso no quiero hablar en la cámara. No quiero hablar en la cámara.
I'm going to be really honest with you guys. If I did not have a way to get out of America, I would have committed suicide by now. I know it's not something we like to talk about, but
It's good that you're open minded.
Although I always Google it. Fastest way. True. One day I was
Who's
really
saying?
pissed off.
we do not need to talk to each other. What is this? See?
No, and the funny thing,
wanna kill yourself?
when I Google it, please call this number.
That was the first thing.
Stop with this, please have phone numbers.
Oh my god. But you guys do realize the human body is made for movement, right? Like, that's it. That's literally everything in the Bible is about movement. Everything in history is about movement. Everything we learn is about movement. You have to constantly move in order to feel alive. And even when you're learning, your brain is moving. Neurons are firing. It's movement. And so when you stay too stagnant, that's when the problems start. And your soul will always recognize stagnation because it's not made for that. So all this talk about movement, to me, should be a normal thing. I don't think people should ever stay within one area their whole lives.
A refugee feel and then get sad and smile. A refugee cry and then sing. زعلي طول أنا وياك وسنين بقيت جربت فيهن أنا إنساك ما قدرت نسيت. What is it love? What love is?
I love you
And?
and Nancy, and I would do anything for you.
How do you know that?
Yeah.
I'll throw myself on a bridge right now. For you.
Is it a bad thing or a good thing to be blind?
Avanzamos. Juntos con la mente clara. Sin miedo, sin terror. Con pasión. En nuestras almas. Tanto amor y felicidad.
والنقود المرئية التي فوق الجميع.
نخل كنخيل la joie. Mais je trouvais du mal que l'espoir me quitte. Chaque jour, quand sera? Mais pourquoi? Avanzaremos para felicidad
تحقق الموت.
سأدعي من أعشق الشمس. رويت الظلام. Dans ce pays des zéros, je n'arrive pas à respirer. Papa, je respire hacia el norte. Mais papa, où es-tu? J'ai l'impression que toi, qui es mon héros, toi m'a donné la vie et mon joie de vivre. Celui qui m'a honoré de créer l'espoir. Qui est mon esperanza. Tu m'as amené dans le pays des zéros qui est la soledad. Hay amor, poder, felicidad, justicia, mais juntos por mí la joie. Mais je te vois alors. justicia, derechos, porque unidos soñamos y unidos juntos.
سأدمدمك لحنا آشوريا
Para nuestro futuro es la belleza.
Tell your name.
Chaque
Hussein.
jour, j'attends la chance.
Refugee, say it louder. Hussein. Refugee, change your name. Andre. Hussein? No, I'm Andre. So you're not Hussein? No, I'm not. Who's Hussein? I'm Andre. Yeah, Andre is good. Right? It looks familiar. Refugee, don't laugh. Refugee, go back to your country. I wish. I can't. Get out! To where? You're undocumented. But you have the paper. You can document me. It's only a paper. Refugee, tell lies. I'm happy. Refugee, say the truth. I don't know who I am anymore. Or what I want. Or who I am become. Refugee, get out.
El alguacil.
Yeah, so that's Hussein. That's a short clip from Letters to Maybe. And in that moment, Hussein was thinking about returning to Baghdad. Nancy was thinking about leaving the US and seeking refuge in Canada. And we talked about constantly when we sat together about death. And it's now that I see all those clips, I noticed that death and suicide are common themes. And they're common not because someone wants to die, more because this life sometimes appear to some of us against all odds. That hope is lacking. We feel like the world doesn't see us. We feel somewhat unseen, unloved. And that is why I think we see Samira returning to that prayer and faith as a space where we can actually reclaim some kind of sense of justice, some kind of sense of morality, some kind of ethics. After we hear our daughter who is 8, already thinking about suicide, thinking about being taken or neglected by God. And it's funny enough, I just came back from Vienna and Germany, and I showed similar clips, some scenes and the entire film. And I was surrounded by refugees from the Ukraine, from immigrants from Eritrea, Congo, Algeria. All of them have German citizenship or they speak German fluently. And all those questions of, I don't know who I have become in this new space, really surfaced and spoke deeply to them and opened up that space of frustration and anger and deep questioning about where is home, or how do we find home, and most importantly, how we find some peace, that internal peace, that space of equanimity, that space where we can actually breathe, where we are not at war within ourselves. And those questions obviously are even more critical when we look at the end of the pandemic and what happened in the Ukraine and Russia. And as well as what the ongoing war in Syria, which we don't talk enough about, but we should, or Eritrea, or Ethiopia, and so on. So there's much for us to talk about, I'm sure. And again, thank you for listening. I cannot see you, so it's very difficult for me. Like I'm talking to some, the Zoom mode is very challenging. So thank you very much.